49ers QB Brock Purdy has an odd connection to Caitlin Clark. San Francisco 49ers star quarterback Brock Purdy has an odd connection to WNBA star Caitlin Clark, with the two being connected by a former college football player at Iowa State. Brock Purdy is a star quarterback in the NFL, though he does share a connection to WNBA star Caitlin Clark. Before establishing himself as the San Francisco 49ers star quarterback, Purdy was the starter at Iowa State, recording the most wins, 30, in program history while also being the leader in passing yards, 12,170, touchdowns, 81, and completions, 993. Backing up Purdy was Blake Clark, Caitlin Clark's older brother, who played for the Cyclones from 2018 to 2022. Speaking before Super Bowl 58, Purdy revealed his relationship with the Indiana Fever star's older sibling. The revelation came before the 49ers lost to Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. "So Blake Clark is a great friend of mine, he's going to be at my wedding," Purdy told reporters at the time. "He's the man, yeah, I love him, he was one of my best friends for 4 years at Iowa State." Despite his relationship with the elder Clark at Iowa State, the 49ers star quarterback admitted that he didn't spend too much time with the WNBA star. Still, Purdy gave the Fever starlet her flowers for the job she's done at Iowa as she cemented her name as one of the greatest college basketball players of all time. He continued, "Caitlin, I wasn't around as much but obviously just through Blake. We'd always watch her and what a baller she was from day one. Obviously from high school, we knew she was going to be a game changer. So, to see her now absolutely killing it, I couldn't be happier for her." Less than a month after losing Super Bowl 58, Purdy tied the knot with his partner Jenna Brandt. The wedding took place in Des Moines, Iowa with more than 350 guests in attendance, according to TMZ. Among those in attendance was Blake Clark, showing just how close the two were. On the court and field, Caitlin Clark and Purdy have had two widely different journeys in their respective careers, with the former being taken number 1 overall and the latter picked last in the NFL draft. Both still ended up as stars in their sport. The signal caller also admitted that Caitlin Clark's tenacity fuels him to be a better player. "I think just the grit," Purdy added when asked what he took away from watching the star guards play as she excelled at the sport. "The competitive nature that he has. When you watch it, it makes you want to play, it makes you want to play your sport well. So, when you see her out there getting her teammates fired up and stuff like that, it reminds you of when you're out on the field playing and your willingness to win. That fire that Caitlin Clark plays with seemingly is a result of her competing with Blake Clark when they were growing up." Speaking to Iowa's The Gazette in 2021, she revealed as much. "He was super athletic, but he wasn't the most skilled, the most talented," Caitlin Clark told the outlet at the time. "He just really outworked people, and I think that's kind of what I admire about him and what drove me when I was young." On the surface, Brock Purdy and Caitlin Clark live in different sporting universes. One commands huddles in Levi's Stadium with an NFL helmet tucked under his arm. The other commands defenses from the logo, pulling up for threes that feel less like shots and more like acts of defiance against gravity. But sports, when you follow the invisible threads closely enough, has a funny way of braiding lives together. And the odd connection between Brock Purdy and Caitlin Clark is one of those stories that feels too poetic to be coincidence. It isn't about endorsements. It isn't about a shared agent. It isn't even about being famous. It's about being underestimated, about Midwestern stubbornness, and about how one person's rise can quietly unlock another's destiny. The Mr. Irrelevant and the Logo Queen. Brock Purdy entered the NFL with the least glamorous title imaginable. Mr. Irrelevant. The final pick of the 2022 draft. Pick 262. A human footnote. Caitlin Clark entered women's basketball with a different label, but the spirit was the same. Too skinny. Too flashy. Her game won't translate. She wasn't supposed to become the gravitational center of the sport. She was supposed to be fun, not transformational. Both of them came from Iowa. Both of them came from the middle of nowhere by media standards. Both of them were quietly told, in 1,000 subtle ways, that their ceiling was lower than their talent. And then both of them broke that idea in half. Iowa isn't supposed to make superstars. This is the first invisible thread. The sports world runs on coasts and big markets. New York, Los Angeles, Miami, Dallas. Iowa doesn't fit the mythology. Yet Brock Purdy and Caitlin Clark grew up inside that quiet Midwestern culture that teaches you to keep your head down, keep your mouth shut, and let the work talk. They didn't come from five-star factories. They didn't grow up on national TV. They grew up throwing passes and taking jumpers in empty gyms and windy fields. That's why when they arrived, they felt different. Not polished. Not prepackaged. Just brutally, inconveniently effective. Purdy's rise changed how we see unlikely. When Brock Purdy took over the 49ers in 2022, he wasn't supposed to be anything more than a nice story. Then he started winning. Then he kept winning. Then suddenly the league had a problem. A quarterback nobody believed in was calmly dismantling playoff teams. He wasn't flashy. He wasn't built like a superhero. He just kept making the right throw at the right time. And that rewired something in the public imagination. It quietly sent a message. What if we've been wrong about what greatness looks like? That message would end up echoing in Caitlin Clark's world too. Caitlin Clark is the basketball version of Purdy. Watch Caitlin Clark play, and you'll notice something that scouts once used against her. She doesn't look like she should dominate. She doesn't jump the highest. She doesn't overpower people. She doesn't play like a prototype. She plays like a mind. Angles. Timing. Audacity. That's Brock Purdy in sneakers. Neither of them wins by overwhelming you physically. They win by being a half second ahead of reality. They throw passes, or take shots, before you think they should. They break systems, not bodies. And in a sports culture obsessed with size, speed, and spectacle, that kind of intelligence is often dismissed, until it becomes unavoidable. The real connection, belief. Here's where the odd connection gets almost eerie. When Brock Purdy took over the 49ers, he didn't just save a season. He validated a type of athlete. The under-recruited. The underdrafted. The underhyped. Caitlin Clark was still rising when Purdy was rewriting his story. And as his legend grew, it quietly made hers easier to believe. If Mr. Irrelevant could become the face of an NFL contender, then maybe the girl pulling up from 30 feet in Iowa could become the face of basketball. The public was suddenly more open to the idea that greatness doesn't always arrive with trumpets. Sometimes it sneaks in through the back door. Two careers that refuse to apologize. There's another connection too. Neither Purdy nor Clark plays like they're trying to fit in. Purdy throws into windows coaches tell you not to test. Clark shoots from distances coaches use to forbid. Both of them force their sport to evolve around them.